I want to talk to you about a town that I think people overlook here in the Chicago suburbs. And honestly, I'm not even sure why. Because the more you look at it, the more it just kind of makes sense. I've been helping people relocate to the area for about 5 years now, and I actually lived here for a few years growing up. So this one is a little bit personal for me. I spent years driving through the streets, I know how the town works, and my best friend puts out fires in this town. Literally. So in this video, we're going to dive into where it sits in the Chicago suburbs, how easy shopping and everyday life really is, go over the schools, what a home really costs here, and a few things you want to know before you even think about moving here. If there's one thing that makes Glendale Heights worth a look, it's definitely the location. And I don't say that lightly. Pull up a map at DuPage County, or I'll do it for you. And Glendale Heights is basically right in the middle of it. You've got Bloomingdale right above, Carroll Stream to its west, Glen Ellen and Lombard to the south, Addison to the east, and they're all touching it or just a few minutes away. So whatever suburb your job ends up bringing you into, wherever your family is, wherever your kids' activities end up being, you're a short drive from all of it. And you're not way out on the edge of anything. You're right in the center. And that's not a small thing. A lot of people don't realize how much of the week they spend just getting places until they live somewhere that's a little out of the way. In Glendale Heights, you kind of stop thinking about that. Everything's close. The highway access is really the part I'd point to here. You've got I-355 running right alongside the town. So north and south, super easy. North Avenue and Lake Street handles your east and west, same as Army Trail Road. Cuts right through that. And then you got a quick shot to I-290, I-88, which opens up basically the entire metro and downtown. Now, Chicago's about 23 miles out from here, and most people here are looking for a commute somewhere 20, 30, maybe a little bit further out, but still very close. Now, for being this central, that's genuinely hard to beat. That's really the quiet appeal of this place when you start boiling it down. A lot of people pay a premium just to be near everything. And here, you already are. And you didn't overpay to even get here. Now, the nice thing about being in the middle is that you basically never have to go too far for anything. Your everyday stuff right here, like Target, Menards, Jewel, Tony's Fresh Market, the grocery runs, the hardware store runs, the honey-do list runs, all 5 minutes away. And basically surrounded by all the other towns anyway. So you've kind of got access to the shopping of 4 or 5 suburbs at one time. The North Avenue corridor is loaded with retail, restaurants, all that. Army Trail Road has its own stuff as well. And if you want a bigger trip, you're right next to Bloomingdale and the whole Stratford Square Mall, which is actually now turning into the Grove. Plus, you're a short drive from shopping in bigger towns like Schaumburg or Oak Brook. So you got this funny thing where it's an affordable, lower key town, plus it's plugged into the conveniences of a much bigger area. You kind of have the best of all the worlds, don't you? And I'll tell you, one of the things I noticed living here versus other places that you don't have to do is you had to plan to run errands. In some suburbs, you could be doing 40-minute errand round trip just to get one thing done. Here, it kind of seems to be woven into your day. That's one of those quality of life things you genuinely don't appreciate until you've lived somewhere that doesn't have any of this. Now, a town being convenient, awesome. But you also want it to be a place that you actually enjoy going to or being in. And Glendale Heights kind of holds up there too. So let's dive into some parks and rec. But before we get into this, if you're thinking of relocating to Chicago or the suburbs, so what I do every single day. So reach out anytime here or sign up for our weekly newsletter right here or in the link below. The park district here does a lot. You got the sports hub, which is basically a big indoor facility. Fitness, basketball, that kind of thing, which is clutch in the winter when you're going stir crazy. And maybe you have 2 kids who need to run around, or you just want to stay active. There's the aquatic center with the pools and the slides for the summer. There's a golf course in town, which is cool if you like to golf. I'm terrible. You've got the East Branch Forest Preserve and Camera Park. So if you want open space, somewhere to walk the dog, or take the family out on a weekend. And then there's Glendale Heights Fest every summer over at Camera Park. Carnival rides, live music, food, the whole town comes out for it. It is the best. Now that's the kind of thing that tells you a place has a real community feel to it. It's not just a bunch of houses where everybody keeps to themselves. Those are awful. People actually show up here for stuff, for days, for events, for everything. What mattered to me growing up here, and it's the kind of thing I think people underrate when they're shopping for a town, you can find a cheap house anywhere, right? You just can be so far out. Finding a place that actually feels like a neighborhood when there's a reason to leave your house, that's a little bit harder. And Glendale Heights seems to get it done though. Now let me give you a real useful tip on the schools, because this is where I don't want you to get tripped up or confused. Glendale Heights is actually split into a few different school districts depending on where you are in town. So this is genuinely a case where a specific house matters, a specific neighborhood might matter. Two homes a few blocks away can feed into different schools. They're served by Glendale Heights District 15 and 16, and Glendale Heights District 41, which surprises people. If school ratings or specific AP programs are important to you, then this actually might matter. So my honest advice, if school is a priority to you, and a lot of families, they're kind of the whole ball game, don't just look up Glendale Heights school districts and call it a day. Dive into niche.com or greatschools.org and see which one kind of best fits you. Now, okay, let's talk about the homes actually cost here. This is the part I think really surprises people, and it's probably why you clicked on this video in the first place. Right now, the median home price in Glendale Heights is sitting around $360,000. It's been ticking up steadily, but nothing crazy, just steady, healthy year-over-year growth. And homes here, they tend to move quick, of course. It's pretty common to see a few offers on the better homes. The slightly ones, not so much. They'll sit for a little bit longer. So it's not a sleeping market where nothing's happening. There's real demand here, and it's really affordable. But here's why the number actually stands out to you. The median for DuPage County as a whole is well above that. If you go look into other towns like Naperville's, Wheaton's, Glen Ellen's, you will easily step into $400,000s, $500,000s, maybe $700,000 price range for the same county, for the same highway access, except Glendale Heights does it better. But it's a lot of the everyday same conveniences that I just walked you through for a fraction of the price. So Glendale Heights end up being one of the most affordable ways really to get into DuPage County right now. You got the ranch homes, you got split levels, townhomes, two-story homes. It's really good if you're looking for entry level, you're looking for your first place, you're downsizing. There's even townhouses or condos that can run into the low 200s. That's a starter price home tag that's hard to beat in any town. And just so you can run the math in your head at the median price, with a normal down payment, you're not looking at some sky-high income just to qualify. It's actually within reach for a regular household, which is more than you can save for a lot of DuPage County around now. I'm gonna be honest. That's the part I really want you to sit with. You're getting the location and the convenience of being in DuPage County, or just super center, at the price DuPage County really doesn't offer anywhere but here, it seems like. The gap here is huge, and it's what draws people in these days. Now, I told you to give you the full picture and not just the good stuff. So let me be straight with you about a couple of things. One, a lot of the housing stock here was built from the 1970s through the 1990s. So you're going to see a fair amount of homes that have that era to them. It's not a bad thing. They're still often solid. They're well built on decent lots, but it does mean you want to have to pay attention to a lot of the big ticket stuff. The roofs, the furnaces, the windows, the kitchen and baths. Some are beautifully updated. Some haven't been touched in a very long time. And the prices will usually reflect that. Hope so. A good inspector definitely matters here, like it does anywhere for the most part, but especially with homes that are this old. Two, this is just being real. Glendale Heights is not a prestige named suburb. It doesn't have the cachet of a Hinsdale or a Naperville, and some people care about that. Now, I'd argue that's exactly why the value is here. You're not paying a premium for some name on the sign. So if flashy's for you and the flashy address and name, maybe this isn't the place to look at. So that's that quick, honest version. None of this is really a deal breaker. It's just stuff I'd want a friend to know who's looking to move in. So you're buying here with some clear eyes. But let me bring this all together and make it real just for a second for you. And before we dive into that, if any of this has you thinking about the Chicago market, where to buy, what areas to watch, what to avoid, it's exactly what I'm here for. Reach out anytime right here, or scan the QR code right here on screen to sign up for my weekly newsletter. I break down the market every week, cover local spots worth knowing about, and I keep you up to date on everything happening in Chicago and the suburbs. My best friend's a firefighter, and we've actually talked about this exact same thing many times. The guys in his line of work need to be somewhere quickly. They're working odd shifts at all hours, and the last thing they want to do is pour their entire paycheck just to live somewhere central. But that's kind of why Glendale Heights has the appeal, and it fits almost perfectly for these guys. You've got central, you've got highway access in every direction, the prices make sense to people, and you're coming to a real neighborhood instead of just some sterile subdivision that you see in some of these areas. And honestly, that's true for a lot more people than just him. First responders, of course, but also young families who want space and a good everyday life without overextending themselves. First-time homebuyers who got priced out of the name brand towns you kind of hear about. And if they just look one town over, you can afford it. People downsizing who still want to be close to everything. And this is really practical. It's just not flashy. That's really who this town quietly takes care of. You can get a really good home here in a great location without feeling stretched so thin that you give up everything. And for the right person, that's really the smartest move of them all. So you've been shopping around the western suburbs and you've skipped right past Glendale Heights. I'd say really give it a look this time. Drive through it, sit at the center of the map or in streets, and pay attention to how fast you can get almost anywhere. And then compare which money actually gets versus a couple towns over. I really do think it'll click once you see this in person. Now, if you want to know about a town that I think is still underrated and I lived there for 20 years, then watch these two videos where I break down the neighborhoods themselves and why it's a hidden gem. At least I think so. And I'll see you there.